Welcome back to the Tracy Take. I'm Tyler here with my brother Ryan, and today we are breaking down the Minnesota Vikings 2024 NFL Draft. It was very interesting to watch see the Vikings try and navigate this draft class with the unique situation they were put in. So we're going to be breaking down their selections. But before we do that, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash the like button. Also subscribe to the Tracy Take and also tackle the bell to get notified when new Vikings videos come out. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the start of the 2024 NFL season, so any help now is greatly appreciated. So Ryan, pull this draft up here. Vikings ended up trading up one spot to go get JJ McCarthy. They just missed out on Michael Penix thanks to the Falcons, and so go watch our Falcons draft recap to let you know about my opinions on that. But JJ McCarthy, this was just kind of similar to Denver. You just kind of like over the month leading up to the draft with all of our mock drafts and then Vikings content that we would put out, we would just kind of logically just work through it, be like, we don't know what other situations that they could be put in. Like, they're not just going to roll with Sam Darnold with no future, to kind of pin your hopes on, like even going to develop, even if JJ McCarthy sits for this year and you just put Sam Darnold out there, just figure it out. At least, have some plan for the future. So it just made too much sense that they were going to go quarterback here. It just depended on which one they were going to go. Very similar to Denver, because both teams had lack of draft capital. So here, I think at JJ McCarthy, I think he's just going to be a good overall fit. I think he's coming into a great situation in Minnesota where you're going to have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson once he comes back from his ACL injury. And I think he's just a calm, cool, collected guy. I think there's a lot of unknown just because one of his biggest things is like the stats weren't there. But I think it's because that Michigan team was so freaking good. They could run the ball so much that it was like, all right, well, we can just go hand it off, even against some of these best defenses. But there were flashes of brilliance, though, where I think it's you could be like, okay, there's something here with this kid.
Yeah, and that, for me, I think with him, there's those flashes. Didn't see it a ton. Part of that was he just didn't have the opportunity in that offense to really show off his skill set. There definitely are some concerns for me in his game, just his lack of ability to consistently throw the ball to the left side of the field. You can really see on like the 9 rectangle chart, you can really see the drop off come over on the left side of the field in terms of completion percentage. And he got a lot of hype. He was a pretty consensus like second round pick coming into this process, and I felt like right around the combine, all of a sudden everybody was like, JJ McCarthy's going in the top 10. And
well, it's because I think we could go through and look at this pick. Like let me pull up the full draft board now. I won't show it on the screen, but yeah, you go look. I mean, let's go look. Brock Bowers, Fuaga, Latu, Murphy, Turner, Mims, Verse, Fatana. Those were like the next 11 pick, or starting at 13. Shoot, even Olu was next. All those guys are better prospects than JJ McCarthy.
Yeah,
on the board. But that QB position is so important. Shoot, that's why the Falcons took a quarterback. The future, because we don't want to have to roll with a third round quarterback like how everybody saw last year. So I get the logic there behind it. But that's why those quarterbacks, those guys, if there's potential first round talent, they're going to go in the first round, especially with QB needy teams.
Yeah. So that is like my gripes. I do see the upside with him, though. He was not asked to do a whole lot in college. I think he is going to a perfect situation where he's going to have some elite weapons to throw to. I actually also wouldn't necessarily be surprised if he's in contention for like offensive rookie of the year, just based off of how explosive that offense could be just around him.
Well, and I think too with Kevin O'Connell, I think that they can go and develop him as well. I think he's coming to a good situation here. I think it's going to be very interesting to go and see, because we saw Kevin O'Connell and really kind of what that Minnesota team was doing last year when nobody was like, we weren't giving them really a shot at all, just with what the overall talent was on the offensive line side of the ball, the entire defense as well. And yet Kirk Cousins and that offense had him clicking. I think a lot of that had to do as well with Kevin O'Connell and his overall, I would say, football philosophy on the offensive side of the ball. So I think he can go and develop if he's come to a great situation.
If he can get Nick Mullins to play at a decent level, he can get JJ McCarthy to play at a high level also. So
that's fair.
So let's move on now to their second first-round pick. This was Dallas Turner. They ended up moving up to get Dallas Turner. And if you followed this channel, I definitely think that they have been switching to a 3-4 style defense with a little bit more of outside linebackers. They were one of the highest blitzing teams last year because this defense was not that great. And so for me, that was this to me isn't just another indication that they are doing that, because he is a stand-up edge rusher, outside linebacker type. He's a really good athlete, was really productive at Alabama, decently stout against the run for a guy that's only 250 pounds, but really gets after the passer. And in this division, that's going to be essential.
Yeah. And so I kind of like the direction that they're going overall. And really, I kind of like the Brian Flores philosophy is just, especially too, you go look at it, the talent on paper last year, there really was lacking. So it was just, we're just going to blitz you and you're going to have to try and throw the ball before we get to you there. Because we're just going to send more bodies than you guys can block. Yeah. And so I think transitioning to that format as well, and then bringing in guys like Andrew Van Ginkel, Jonathan Bernard as well. And so I think you throw Dallas Turner in there also. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how this Minnesota Vikings defense develop, especially too going up now against this NFC North division. So you go look at the Lions offense, Packers offense, and this Bears offense is just phenomenal. You're going to have to get after the quarterback. And at the same time, too, you got to get after the quarterback with 4 guys and drop back 7, because each of these teams have phenomenal offenses, phenomenal receivers. It's going to be amazing to watch the NFC North play this year.
Yeah, no, for sure. So let's move on. They did not have a second or a third round pick. They used, I believe they had a third to move up, and they used that to move up to get Dallas Turner. So we're going to go straight into day 3 picks here. Kyrie Jackson, the extremely long corner out of Oregon, Walter Roos and Will Reichard, also getting some tackle depth, as well as a new kicker up there in Minnesota.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They wrap it up with Monkey Jurgens and then Levi Drake Rodriguez, just addressing the offensive and the defensive interior. I think just trying to find just good depth pieces. Maybe one of these guys can go and develop. And so, in general, I think the Vikings did, I'll say, a solid job overall. Part of it to me is just we're kind of put in a desperate situation, so it's kind of hard to figure out how good this draft class is, depending on how well these guys pan out. Because honestly, I think the draft is going to be about how JJ McCarthy goes.
Oh, for sure.
I will say, as we've seen now with these rookie quarterbacks, there's very little, I would say, leniency. I think that's going to come to JJ McCarthy. If they're picking in the top 5 next year and they have the ability to go get Shedeur Sanders or Quinn Ewers really develops, I bet they'll go and get that guy. I don't think there's too much faith overall there, but I think they felt like this was a move that they had to go and take, because if JJ McCarthy does pan out, and then hopefully you're not picking in the top 5 or the top 10 for a very long time. So I think that's where, if we go on to our draft grades, I think that's where, to me, I had them at a B-, but it's something that could absolutely go and move up a little bit. I do like them getting Dallas Turner. I think JJ McCarthy, as I said, it's just, if JJ McCarthy pans out, then this turns into an A. So, and part of it too, they're just put in a desperate situation with Kirk Cousins moving on there, missed out on the entire quarterback carousel, missing out on Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, all those guys. Shoot, they even missed out on Zach Wilson. That's probably a good thing. So they want to go and see. They trade up to go get Dallas Turner. Don't have any day 2 picks. Another thing as well, they don't have any day 2 picks in next year's draft class as well. They utilized a lot of picks.
Do they not have that third?
No, they traded that away, I think, to move up. I'll go back and double check as well.
I thought they had a third, but
no, I remember when looking at everything that they didn't have day 2 picks in next year's class as well.
So they're trading back then, is what you're saying, next year?
Probably, yeah.
No, but so for me, I gave them a B, which was like right on average. I really liked the Dallas Turner pick. I thought that was a good savvy move. And then JJ McCarthy, I'm not super high on, but they, I think, identified 2 guys. There were a lot of reports that they wanted to move up with Drake May at 3 overall, and they just couldn't do it. And then also JJ McCarthy, I guess, was their plan B. And then I liked Kyrie Jackson going and getting Will Reichard and Walter Roos. I thought were good picks on day 3 as well. Yeah. So all in all, I just thought they added good players, and it's kind of hard to be mad at a draft where you get 2 good prospects in the first round.
Yeah. And so just quickly go talk about their next year's draft class. They traded the Houston Texans, their 2nd round pick, to move up into the 1st. Then they traded away their 3rd and 4th for the Dallas Turner trade. I don't know if they have any other 4th round picks based off other, picks in return. So if that is the case, they actually don't even have a 4th round pick. So they have a 1st round pick and then 2 5th round picks next year. Now that's about it. They potentially do get some compensatory picks in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
But that's something to wait and see. So that's what I'm saying.
They've really got themselves in a bad spot.
Well, that's what I think. This is all going to be contingent on how well these picks pan out. They're essentially the 2 first-round picks as well. So I do think getting Kyrie Jackson was good value there in the 4th round. I had him a little bit sooner. And all positives, but that's where it's really tough to grade just because it's all projections.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll just kind of have to wait and see. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you thought of the Minnesota Vikings 2024 draft class. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you have done differently? And then that we'll see you guys next time.